Paladins versus Overwatch, or Overwatch versus Paladins as the title suggests, which is a better game? You're probably watching the thumbnail and title and thinking that I'm about to rant Overwatch because I'm a Paladin streamer, YouTuber, but no, that shit's long past. It stinks, actually, the subject. But I can't stop to, not sneak peek some people talking about it. I can't stop myself from doing it. And, I found this post. Actually, this was handed over to me by a friend, which is from January. All right, so we're like 6 months ahead already. But still, I still know how all of this was 6 months ago, so it's still pretty fresh. Now, the post says Overwatch versus Paladins, which is better game. I will be honest, I've already read some parts of this, and I gotta be honest that this guy does not seem to know whatever the fuck he knows what he's talking about. Either A, he's completely biased on Overwatch, because there's shit that just doesn't make sense, that it's absolutely a bunch of fucking lies. He literally changes some of the reality in order to make Overwatch look even better. Like, nobody's saying that Overwatch is better or worse than Paladins. I personally think Overwatch is a lot more clean. It has a lot more potential than Paladins. Unfortunately, Paladins, it's just, it went through a bunch of bad decisions, and it also started losing a lot of devs, and so it's hanging on to life, and it's trying its best, but other than that, it still has its little, it's like a little hidden gem. And honestly, I don't feel like Overwatch and Paladins are the same thing. I do not feel like I'm playing the same game when I'm playing both of them, and I own both games. I even owned Overwatch before it was free to play. It was thanks to Beam for Hell, a little friend of mine who actually offered it to me. And I gotta say, I like playing the game. It's just like, it gets boring really fast because you don't really have many different ways to play with each champion, and it's the same thing over and over. The matches are so super fast, like, it's weird, right? And I understand that people might want that fast pace, a little bit more competitive side of gaming, and it's understandable. It's not for everybody. Maybe I prefer Paladins, that it's a bit more, has a lot more choices of what I can do, and then change that same champion mid-game to even work even differently, counter specific champions without having to change the champion, right? I can literally grab one champion from start to end on Paladins and main it all the way to level 999, and I can still play that champion 10 different ways, complete different ways in one single day of gaming section. All right, so you go to Overwatch, forget it. You grab tracers, there's only one way to play, and that's it, right? So you're forced to change champions if you wanted counter or doing anything. So to me, they're completely different, and I don't think anybody needs to be on this entire fucking thing of which one is better. There will be better things for each one of them. I think you guys should just focus on enjoying the games as much as you want and stop fanboying about either game, because, that's what the companies want. You're doing the fucking job for free for them, right? You're literally just there. They're sitting back, enjoying that little whiskey, looking at your ass like, yeah, you look like a fucking clown while I'm just here sipping on my glass while you're doing all the job for me. We don't even need to step out of the fucking chair. You're just doing all the job for me. But yeah, so this person decided to do a post about it, and I want to see what their opinion is and talk about it. Let's read this super fast. Think back to mid-2010s era in gaming. The power Call of Duty franchise was waning thanks to high-tech and over-the-top features and taking the series away from its roots. Titanfall had failed to impress, and Battlefield had its plaudits, but equally had become quite predictable. So they Call of Duty is the same shit every fucking year? I'm not, okay, whatever. In this era, the FPS genre was crying out for a new format to excite fans and breathe life into the genre. Then, right on cue, the hero FPS format burst onto the scene. While many will argue that the best hero-based FPS title at the moment is the wonderful title Valorant, you can't ignore the fact that this game took inspiration from games that came from before. These games are Overwatch and perhaps to a lesser extent Paladins. Okay. I don't know where Valorant got its a specific, what's it called, inspiration, but I think that it's more to a CSGO side, but just with a little, abilities kind of thing to it. And if anything, Team Fortress was the first one in the genre. Or before that, I think there was even another one, but I don't remember. I think it was like Gigantic or some shit. No, Team Fortress was first, sorry. But either way, like, if they inspired themselves from Overwatch or Paladins. We don't know. We need to understand one thing. There's multiple different devs inside of the team. There's multiple different ideas coming from all these different devs. And some of these devs might have inspired themselves from Overwatch. Some of these devs might have inspired themselves from absolutely nothing, just from their own brains. And there might be similarities and whatnot. So calling out that they did heavily inspire themselves from Overwatch, it seems kind of a stretch, especially because, I mean, I look into some of the abilities on Valorant, and many of them have nothing to do with Overwatch. If you tell me that Overwatch and Valorant are related, I would say that it's, what, because of the fucking graphics? Because other than that, the abilities are also fucking different. The UI, the way that you use your abilities, the way that weapons work and so on, like, it's so different. Like, I cannot understand how anybody can compare either of them. And I'm not even going to mention Paladins, like, fuck that. If anything, I would say that it's just CSGO, and they looked at games like Overwatch and said, let's create some abilities for our champions and make CSGO the best fucking thing ever. These games offered a arcade-style FPS format which allowed players to try out a handful of characters, characters, each with their own ultimate moves. Unique weapons and skills and custom cosmetics. If you're into that sort of thing, these games moved away from the realistic modern warfare of typical FPS games and offered something truly unique. However, you might be wondering, which one of these games should I invest my time into? Which one of these games is best? Well, you're in the right place. Join us to compare these two games and see how each measures up. Here is Overwatch versus Paladins guide. And here I am to correct your fucking ass. Because I know for a bunch of different things here you said, they're absolutely fucking horseshit. And if you are indeed wondering which game you should try, how about this? Try both of them, and then whatever you like the most, just go for it, okay? Nothing is stopping you from playing both at the same time either, all right? Like, you can play Overwatch. If you get a little bit tired, you go to Paladins, and once you get tired of Paladins, you come back to Overwatch. In fact, maybe you get tired of both of their fucking asses, and you go to something else, okay? So it's completely fine. But, yeah, let's continue with the subject here. Main differences between Overwatch and Paladins. The main difference between Overwatch and Paladins are: Overwatch is a main fixture of esports landscape, whereas Paladins has not been embraced by esports communities to the same extent. Let's just... Overwatch has esports right now. Paladins has stopped the esports a while ago because they wanted to fix the game. All right, so there you go. Corrected. Overwatch allows you to change your hero main hero on the fly. Your main hero. Okay, so this is bullshit. Overwatch allows you to change your main hero on the fly. I guess what he's saying is the champion you're using. You can change your hero on, like, whenever you want. Whereas Paladins will lock your choice for the duration of the game, forbidding you from choosing a new hero. So this last sentence here is just like, hey, so you can't do it, and like it's like he's trying to make it worse for Paladins. Listen, Overwatch is heavily invested into changing champions to counter comps. Paladins, once you lock a champion, you can only play that champion. That is true, because you're also getting experience and levels for that champion. But here's the thing. You have many different things that will change your different gameplay style with this character. You can play in dozens of different ways with champions. You got 16 different cards you can do combinations with. 5 cards will be selected. You can then select 15 points between all these 5 cards. You have 3 different talents that you can go match back and forth with these cards, with these loadouts that you can pre-create before going into lobbies. And then you even have an item shop that allows you to turn down, for example, the ration to CC, damage reduction, speed, cooldown reductions, and so on, so on. So Paladins is more into the MOBA style. Overwatch is more into the just shoot, and if that champion doesn't work, switch it up to some other fucking shit. If you're only good at one champion in Overwatch, you're fucked. If you're only good at one champion in Paladins, you actually might have a good chance. So, yeah. Paladins uses a card system which offers in-game perks that can be used to give you an advantage, whereas Overwatch offers a consistent, balanced game. You're fucking kidding me, right? You can tell he's trying to fucking make Overwatch look like the best thing. Paladins uses a card system which offers in-game perks that can be used to give you an advantage. Well, Overwatch is consistent and balanced. Dude, stop being a fucking moron. Paladins has a card system that allows you to play the same champion in multiple different ways, where Overwatch, you are forced to change your champions in order to counter comps, and you have to constantly be changing champions. It might be interesting that you learned how to play a little bit of every single one of them, okay? So it's not very balanced when you can just change things on the fucking flight, and people have to constantly be switching back and forth all the time, okay? Not to mention that it was so fucking balanced that they had to switch it over to 5 players instead of 6. 6 champions were apparently killing the game because of goats. They had to do roll Q lock, right? And then they had to switch it over to 5 fucking champions. I don't know, man. I don't know, but you need to fucking understand how things are before you're just trying to paint Overwatch in gold and just paint Paladins with some shit. Alright, some shit paint or something, alright? Overwatch is a paid title, whereas Paladins is completely free-to-play experience. Hold up. Overwatch went free-to-play on December. I remember that. Overwatch is a paid title. Both games do include microtransactions, but have done away with previously included loot boxes. Okay, so let me explain here on one thing. You need to explain this a little bit better. Because Overwatch does have loot boxes. And still does. Paladins' loot boxes are a bit different. Paladins' loot boxes are one chest. You got like 6-7 different fucking skins. And once you get one, that one will never show up again. Duplicates did exist on Overwatch, and their chests are way fucking complicated. Not only that, but if you go into Overwatch right now, you can buy hundreds of those fucking boxes for money, while on Paladins, you have to buy crystals and then open them one by one. That does not just allow people to spend like thousands in one go, right? And the chests on Paladins are, especially just for cosmetics, they do not get fucking duplicates. They get they separate the chests onto different like themes, like the Christmas chest here you have 6 different skins who are Christmas, and they get a shit ton of sales, but they're not the exact same thing. Okay, it sounds like an old article. Yeah, but the thing is, it's 2023 January 5th. At this point, Overwatch is already free to play, which is, I don't fucking get it why he's saying that Overwatch is paid while Paladins is not. But Overwatch is already free to play at January. This is fucking bullshit, okay? Overwatch offers heroes with specific playstyles, okay? Whether Paladins offers a limited hero pool with more builds available to suit all playstyles. What? What the fuck are you saying? Overwatch offers heroes with specific playstyles, whether Paladins offers a limited hero pool. We got 3 times the number of fucking champions they got on Overwatch. What the fuck are you talking about? Every single one of them is specifically different. There are some similarities between, for example, something like a Betty and a fucking Dredge, but that's about it. Even then, they still have their own specific playstyles. All right, you got champions with high mobility, you got champions with high burst, you got champions with hybrid mobility and damage, you got champions who are only about defense, you got champions who are both hybrid at supporting both healing and damage, and you got ones that are just heal bots. There's a lot of different specific playstyles that I could just name here right for you. All right, this is bullshit. Whether Paladins offers a limited hero pool with more builds available to suit all playstyles. This last part is specifically he's countering himself up. Because a champion is not just, like, you already have the champion, you already have his abilities, every ability is different, every ultimate is different, every champion has different weapons, and all the different kits are just different from one champion to the other, which means specific playstyles for each champion. You have 4 different classes, while on Overwatch you got 3. Aggressive, front lines, and fucking supports. On Paladins you got flanks, high mobility, burst damage, damages, AoE and more damage to destroy shields and burst down people, then tanks, and then supports. That's it. Even inside of these own specific classes, you got champions doing different shit. You got supports that are better at damage than actually healing, and so on. I don't know what he's trying to say here. Like, yes, the builds will allow you to even have more playstyles, but this is bullshit. One champion on Overwatch has one specific way to be played, and that's fucking it. You might have a Moira that will go damage instead of fucking support. Alright, sure. I've seen it. I do it. But that's about it. That's one of the only fucking champions that can actually have more than one way to play. But whatever. Overwatch is a team-oriented shooter where Paladins has team-based aspects, but it's more geared towards individuals. What the fuck are you on about? Are you fucking drunk? Is this man drunk? Are you fucking... Oh. If you could be the best fucking player on Paladins. You could be Mutu. Tell me, since when does Mutu by himself wins the fucking game? A specific person by himself will never win the fucking game. It's a team-based game, just like Overwatch. Fuck that bullshit. In Overwatch, I could actually argue that they will have a better individual success. First of all, they have the top plays, which we don't have anymore on Paladins. Second of all, it is so fucking small, the time to kill, that a fucking Hazel can just go 1v6 and kill every single one of them. On Paladins, good fucking luck trying to do that shit. Good fucking luck. There's no one-shot mechanics there, unless you're talking about a Nessa that hits a headshot with her ultimate onto a fucking squishy, or maybe a Strix that hits a headshot on the Eevee, which is super rare to be done. But don't ever tell me that Paladins is individual success. You see what I'm saying here, right? We've only been to one specific question, and it automatically is triggering me because every single thing he's done here was paint Paladins with shit, over like just put shit on top of Paladins and paint Overwatch with gold paint. If you're not biased on Overwatch, I can't tell for sure what are you trying to do here, because you don't... What was it said here? Callum Marshall is an experienced gamer. His favorite games of all time, RuneScape, Kingdom Hearts, Journey, Fallout games, Disco, and he also dabbles in Rocket League. When he's not gaming, you find him... Yeah, okay, sure. Clearly has a shit ton of experience on FPSs and so on. Yes, but it doesn't say Overwatch there. It better not, because if it did, oh shit, I would have the answer to my question. Overwatch Overview. As mentioned above, Overwatch is a team-oriented shooter where teams of 5 over... Oh, okay, so I'm sorry. So you have this updated, which is now 5 players, but you don't have it updated up there, which is actually free to play? So you knew that it was a teams of 5, but you didn't know it was fucking free to play? Consistency. I like it. As mentioned above, Overwatch is a team-oriented shooter. 5 players. Overwatch will choose their ideal team composition of Overwatch characters. This is bullshit. Even in competitive, you'll see how bullshit that is. They will not choose the ideal team. People will choose whatever the fuck they want to play. In casuals, is fucking chaotic. In competitive, people will be yelling at each other to actually pick what they need. But other than that, I can guarantee you the Paladins has a more consistent, like how do I say, a proper team in competitive, for example. You know, 2 tanks, 1 point tank, 1 off tank, 1 support, 1 damage, 1 flank. This will happen way more often than what will happen on Overwatch. I've seen it. I'm talking about experience here. I'm not talking about just trying to burn Overwatch. I wouldn't do that. I play Overwatch as well. But every time I played Overwatch in competitive, both when I was already close to Diamond, playing on last year, I always saw the same shit. People don't give a shit. They just want to play their mains. That's it. They only like to play Genji. That's it. That's the only shit they're going to play. Oh, nobody wants to play tanks or supports. I wonder why. Everybody just want to play the fucking overpowered shit that kills everybody with 1 shot. But whatever. Play through various game modes in hope of bringing home the win to the squad. What? This doesn't make any sense. Here, the selection is vital as players will want to have a team that can attack, defend, heal, and provide support throughout their matches. So choosing your hero carefully is a must. Or if you fail, you can just change it up, because the game is very forgiving of that shit. But guess what? In Paladins, you fuck it up, you're a dumbass. There are 32 champions to choose from at the time of rating. Skills, ultimates, and trails which make use of various gameplay mechanics and will help players succeed. Here's a quick list. Okay, I know the characters. I don't need to look at that shit. Within this game, there are a variety of game modes that all rely on teamwork and strategy to win. Yeah, but not on Paladins. Paladins is all, you know, just play. It's free for all shit. Yeah. All of these are simply variations of existing game modes from other franchises and offer a simple to understand goal from each game. Oh, so he's saying that they copy other games. Interesting. Inspire. Here's a quick rundown of the game modes. I don't fucking need to look at this. I know the game modes, but I still want to see what they're... This is a game mode, Assault. This is a game mode that will feel familiar to those who have played Domination or Headquarters in Call of Duty series. In this game, one team will be defending and will be tasked with making sure that the offensive team does not capture their base. If they do, the clock is extended and a new base is marked, pushing the defending team back. Okay, so this is the one where you have 1 point. If you capture it, then there will be another point to capture. Usually, wasn't this the one? No, that's the escort. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I was confused with this one. This game is quite similar to the one listed above. However, in the game is defending. Instead, both teams are fighting for control. One capture point on the map. The team is positioned on the map will increase their control percentage, and when one team hits a percent, they will the point. They will the point. What? They will what? This is a place placed in a best out of 3 format, which different points around the map. Okay. Hybrid. This is a game that... I need to go back into Overwatch and check this, because this seems like total horseshit to me. Paladins Overview. Okay. It wouldn't be long before FPS developers would jump on the hero shooter bandwagon, and Paladins, a free-to-play shooter, would be the first game of note to do so. Irish Studios released this game in 2016. Immediately, this game received a lot of flack for critics and used alike, and is to this day often referred to as a budget Overwatch clone. However, when the dust settled, many came to realize that Paladins tried to do something different and has good deal on success in doing so. This is the first fucking time he's talking good about Paladins. I'm actually surprised. Holy shit. Firstly, this game takes a much more individualistic approach when it comes to combat. That is bullshit. Oh my god. Dude, have you ever heard about Rey, where she literally needs people to be right next to her? Or Lilith, for example, that needs a teammate to continuously get fucking blood health? Have you ever... This guy's never opened Paladins in his life. I guarantee you this. Paladins rewards players for being individual skilled. Oh my fucking god, and he keeps going at it. Ah, okay, dude. Players will be able to choose from a list of 41 playable... What?! Hold up. It said there, we have 58 champs, right? 58. And this was in January. So if we remove Nyx, which was the only champion released so far this year, that would be 57. 41. Where did you get this list, my guy? Lilith isn't even here. This was in January. This motherfucker actually copy paste from like last 2 years ago or something. Where's the damage champions? Where's the fuck is the flanks? Where the fuck are the flanks? Dude, wait. I'm a bit lost here. Where the fuck are the flanks? Okay, dude, let's move on. I'm not... This shit was AI generated. It had to be. It's a fucking bullshit. The game also features variety game modes, some of which are very closely modeled after those popularized by the Overwatch. Oh, fuck you! Fuck you! Go fuck yourself! So Overwatch inspired themselves from big games, but Paladins inspired themselves from Overwatch. Oh, you're so full of bullshit. Oh, my god. You are kidding. That is so bullshit. Oh, I can't believe this. Dude, Payload came from fucking Team Fortress. TDM came from every fucking possible game out there that just shoot and kill. The first team to get certain amount of kills gets the win, like Call of Duty. But no, Overwatch. Onslaught is literally... I don't think there's actually... Is there any game specifically that has a place where you need to cap and at the same time you also get points for killing? I think it's Call of Duty as well, right? And other than that, Siege. Overwatch doesn't even have Siege. Overwatch has a similarity to Siege, which is a point where you capture and then you have to escort a fucking payload from that point. Right? Paladins has a 4-point base system where you will get a point for capping, 1 for delivering, 1 for defending. If you only get it for defending if it is not the last point. So, if you need 1 point to win, and if you defend, you will not get a point on that. That's it. But you will get a point for capturing, you'll get a point for delivering, you get a point for defending, right? It can go up to almost 5 rounds if done correctly. But you go to Overwatch, there's no shit like that. And all the game modes that we have, like Payload exists on Payload exists on Team Fortress 2. We are heavily invested on Team Fortress 2. Because there's even a fucking skin, which they did a collab with Team Fortress 2. Paladins has always been very frank about it. That they always got very invested, they got very inspired by Team Fortress 2. This game was already in development before, it was in closed alpha before Overwatch was even announced. And they had the old Siege, which is now actually a game mode right now, which had 3 different points. One of them would become active. You would go in there, Payload would spawn, go over to the gates, try to destroy the gates of the enemy team. You don't have that on fucking Overwatch. You don't have that on Overwatch. You don't have anything to defend gates. That's bullshit. Right? They took that away, made it a simpler mode, which is just a payload with bombs, goes over to the enemy spawn, and blows up, and you have 4 points to win. Right? And most of the characters that are on Paladins, I can actually go back and show you a couple of them. Most of these characters are actually heavily invested by characters that they had on Global Agenda, made by Hi-Rez. I will shit you not. There's a fucking character there, which is a dressed in purple girl sniper with a sniper that charges to shoot, and then her ultimate is to see people through fucking walls and has a poison mine. There's a guy there that's almost like a fucking dwarf or something with a hammer and a goddamn turret. There's a guy that has a shield that can put up whenever he wants and puts down the shield, and it has a hammer to hit people, swings it with him. Does this bring any bells? Yeah, but you're right. You're right. Paladins, you know, they inspired themselves from Overwatch. You're fucking right, dude. Alright, so before I lose my mind, let's continue here. Siege. The mode is considered a competitive mode within Paladins. This is game mode. No, this is the main mode of Paladins, and then there's a competitive mode to it. This is the game that basically replicates the hybrid mode. Oh, go fuck yourself! Oh, go fuck yourself! Oh, no, you didn't! This is a game that combines escort and assault, with the first half of the game being an assault capture point, then once the effective captures is the most accepted paladin. Are you fucking kidding me? Mate! Oh! Okay, whatever you say. Yes, Siege is a copy of Hybrid on Overwatch. This mode is very similar to Domination within Call of Duty series. Ah, hey, finally! However, alongside earning points for your team through capturing one of the 3 points on the map. What? However, alongside earning points from your team, though, through capturing one of the 3 points on the map. Capturing one of the 3 points on the map? There's one active point at all times, whether it's Onslaught or King of the Hill. Are you out of your mind? The player can also rack up points by killing other players, meaning that this also plays rather like a traditional deathmatch. This is the only good fucking thing you said there. It speaks for itself. 2 teams fight to reach a kill count before the team. First team to reach the combined kills wins the match. Rank. This is the ranked competitive version of Siege. So why did we say that this was the competitive mode of Paladins? Game format remains the same, but also changes are made to the rank layout. Teams can choose 2 champions to ban in the match. And throughout the chill. 2 champions! We had 6 bans at the start of the fucking year. Are you out of your mind? Oh my god, this is so outdated. Holy shit. I'm losing my mind with this. Champions depend on the match, and throughout the selection process, both teams are aware of the selection being made by the other team. So, yeah, it is blind picks on the normal Siege, and it's people can see the enemy's picks on the ranked Siege. You forgot that you cannot have duplicated champions on this mode. Paladins versus Overwatch storyline. Okay, Overwatch. While there is no dedicated storyline or campaign mode for Overwatch, the developers have done plans to ensure that Overwatch can immerse themselves into the universe. This is true. The central premieres of this game revolves around International Military Task Force known as Overwatch. This PrAC team especially were formed to deal with Omni Crisis. That is true. The team would deal with the robot invasion. The Overwatch team simply couldn't coexist as a unit. This lead to infighting, power struggle, blah blah blah. Then the Overwatch team got disbanded. Yes, I know the story in this one is a bit accurate. Now let's look into Paladin since he's been fucking it. What is this shit? What is this shit? I'm sorry. What is this fucking picture? This has nothing to do with Paladins. For anyone who's new, who's never even played Paladins before, there's not a single fucking thing on Paladins that has any of this. That is not a character from Paladins. This is not even there's not even a mention of a monster like this on Paladins. I'm just gonna do my little safe bet here, and I'm gonna say that this guy did not write a single fucking word of this entire thing and just did it AI generated, published it up on the fucking website, and maybe got paid for it. I don't even know. But this is all so bad. This is bullshit. Holy. You can tell that this is AI generated because the AI literally went for how the internet sees Paladins versus Overwatch. How Overwatch is the king and Overwatch Paladins is just a fucking copy of Overwatch. You can tell that by every single fucking line that we see here. Oh my god. Takes a similar approach to storytelling as Overwatch franchise, and however, Paladins decided that they would tell a variety of stories in an arc format. Initial arc revolved about the Crystal War, the battle between two... Okay, I'm sorry. Why are you... Overwatch story started with Overwatch being created, the military task force to fight the Omnic crisis. Then there was a bunch of problems. They disbanded the Overwatch team, then decided to bring it back together. Now they're all getting together to stop the things that are happening right now. That's the simple version of the story. Paladin's story started off with a lot of the Dragon Wars destroying the realm, and so some people started getting together like the Paladins, and they gathered together creating a group called the Paladins. They saved the realm, and then when they were no longer needed, they got disbanded and left somebody else in charge, which was the Magistrate. It was one of the leaders. Karn was one of the leaders of the Paladins, was actually the leader of the Magistrate. So there was still a task force a little bit there that was controlling the realm and still maintaining peace. Then after that, they got a little bit too power hungry. Crystals were found, which was a source of power, and people were using it not only for good reasons. And unfortunately, Karn had to step in and said, no, the common folks cannot use the crystals. So they try to stop the common folks from using the crystals. Only like military forces and so on could use them. Valera, which was the other leader of the Paladins that got disbanded, didn't like this, created a resistance, and tried to fight back against Karn. Then this entire thing just escalated to even a worse sort of battle, but soon enough, there was a character, there was Yagarath, the Darkness, that was, like, how do I explain it? It was sealed away long ago, before any of this shit happened. It was sealed away, and unfortunately got released, and now both the Resistance and the Paladins team had to join up together to fight this darkness from destroying the entire planet, right? They almost failed, until somebody from the future had to come back and help them up a little bit. And once a Pyre Lord, one of the angels, gods, whatever, saw that it have come to this point where the Moon Goddess had to come down, a guy from the future had to come over, that everybody had to join together forces to fight this darkness, he came down and stopped it. But then he also said, if you don't get this shit all fixed, there's people from the hell, from Abyss, going around roaming free. If you don't fix all of this, I'm going to burn everything to the ground. Guess what? One of the characters from the Abyss, called Nyx, went up to the pyre and then kidnapped Azan, which is the so-called god. So now there's nobody from the pyre to help the realm, and now the Abyss is going to be released on the realm. This is the story of Paladins right now, and this is just simple version. Let's see what he says here. Paladins decided that they would tell her the initial arc revolves about Crystal War and the battle between two factions, Magistrate and the Paladins. Okay, or the Resistance that then got named over to be the Paladins again. Paladins are a force that have existed within this universe for centuries and have helped the realm to fend off threats of goblins, dragons, and wardens, to name a few. This is bullshit. The old Paladins were the ones who did this. The new Paladins they just named themselves Paladins again because they were fighting over for the small people, and they were actually just the Resistance. That's it. However, thanks to the discovery of magic crystals which produce unique magical properties, many within the ranks would defect from their own groups known as the Magistrate by Karn. So what he's talking about here, this is actually a line on the Paladins wiki. You can go and find it. So another reason to why I think this is fucking AI generated. People from the Magistrate didn't like how Karn was leading shit, so they left to go to the Resistance. Magistrate core beliefs center around the fact that crystals would undo the great work within the Gold Age and thus aim to ban all use of the crystals. Whether the Paladins led by Valera believe that these crystals could enhance people's lives to the better, and therefore they fight to ensure that the crystals remain free to use within the realm. This picture is actually bullshit. I don't even fucking know what this is. You know what? Hold up. There. Paladins Wallpaper. Hey, yo! Hey, yo! Did I just fucking figure out what... No, wait. This shit. No, it has to be AI generator. It's impossible. There's no fucking way. I do not believe it. You cannot tell me this is not AI generated. This shit is what if the picture was named. This was behind the picture. I just deleted the picture and this was behind the picture. Do you guys understand that? That is not a Paladins Wallpaper. This guy either A, gone to Google and fucking downloaded some shit and just typed Paladins Wallpaper, or B, AI generator did this shit. Congratulations. The central premise for the matches and game modes within the game, and since the initial storyline, there has been a second arc introduced called the Darkness arc, which revolves around the return of Yago Dark Monster, who aims to lay waste to the realm once and for all. Crystal arc still has not concluded. Similarly have been shelved in favor to the Darkness arc. Overall, we would say that Overwatch Saga is much more well-delivered and intriguing storyline, partially due to the higher production value, but also due to the more cohesive plot, the compelling animated story, and the interesting characters. Paladin's story is commendable and, due to multiple arcs, more varied. However, as a whole, Paladin's story is a little too one note for us. What the fuck does that mean? Listen, I'm gonna be honest here. Paladins lore is a whole fucking hot mess. They started off with the alpha lore, they shelved it, then they did the normal lore where we are at now. They're trying to keep it consistent, but obviously they can't make everything the best they can. And unfortunately, because the team has also constantly been changing, there's stuff that just ends up being completely different of what we were expecting. And so it takes different directions. They commit mistakes, which is obviously right. When he says here, we would say that Overwatch Saga is much more well-delivered and intriguing story, partially due to the higher production value. That's right. They have a much better team, bigger, with a lot more people, probably a lot more professional writers and so on, which actually try to keep it consistent. I do not disagree with this. This is absolutely right. I know how the Paladins lore is, and I gotta say, it fails at many different levels. Let's go over here. Paladins Overwatch graphics and visual appeals. I don't even need to read this shit. Like, Overwatch has better graphics, by far, obviously, but this is just a different style of the graphics that they did for. They did use the Unreal Engine 3, not allowing them to upgrade it to, like, the max, but they work really well with what they have. And Overwatch has amazing fucking graphics. Let's see what he says. Overwatch is leaps and bounds ahead of Paladins in terms of graphical excellence. This has to be expected from a paid AAA game. Paid. However, it is finer details that help this game stand out. Overwatch has a series of characters that all have distinct character designs, animations, weapon, custom cosmetics, and more. As I mentioned, the game offers some of the most stunning settings in FPS gaming. Thanks to the reimagined Earth setting, the locations are locally based off of real-world locations placed, like Santorini in Greece, Dubai. Yes, that is true. They say initiation is the highest form of flattery. Initiation. Imitation. He's trying to say imitation. Oh, you fucking asshole. Okay. Let me put down my water bottle. They say imitation is the highest form of flattery. Well, I'm sure the Blizzard were pretty flattered when they were seen screenshots of Paladin Champions at Realm drops for the first time. This game is visually a carbon copy of Overwatch series. So up there he says that the internet is the one who essentially made Paladins look like the copy of Overwatch. But in here, he's literally doing it himself. However, due to the lesser budget and free-to-play setup, the game doesn't have the same refinement or charm and unique characters design Overwatch has. Sort of okay, except for the part of the Overwatch is also free-to-play. Maybe they did use the money they got from Overwatch 1 to now maintain their shit. But we're not talking about the same size company. We're talking about Blizzard. The same company who is it World of Warcraft? I think it is, right? World of Warcraft? Or, am I confused? No, I think it's World of Warcraft. Yeah. And so they have a bigger company, like by far, like big company compared to Hi-Rez. The biggest title that Hi-Rez has is Smite. And Smite essentially is good, but they heavily focus on esports. I could even say that game is literally just for esport players almost. The animations are all largely the same for all characters. What? Textures and locations in this title are, for the most part, generic and poor quality. Plus, features like the UI in particular are just shamelessly lifted straight from Overwatch. Oh my fucking god! Overwatch invented UI! Oh my god! I didn't know that! Paladins copied UI from Overwatch. What? How dare you, Paladins? That's before we even mentioned similarity characters who clearly mirror Overwatch. Motherfucker, I could talk about some characters that got released into Overwatch after they already existed pretty similarly on Paladins. Let's talk about Ashe, which released and everybody just said, that's Leon. That's fucking Leon right there. Interesting. I don't know what people are going to say. Hey, Kreepers, but what about Nyx and Ramatra? I can't really speak for that, but I will speak for one thing. I did see designs from the old Ramatra, and he didn't look like what he is right now. It was similar, but they changed his visuals. And unfortunately, Nyx, I was part of the UC last year, and I saw Nyx design at the start of the fucking year. The start of last year, 2022. In February, they already had a finished design for this champion. Alright? I don't know about Ramatra. I can't tell for sure. These were exclusive NDA drawings. Already fully 3D models of Nyx. They already had the golden skin, the recolor, and everything for her. Okay? And it's right there. Kiriko incident. Oh, a character that happens to have a fucking fox and is a support, just like IO. Imagine. But then you say that that's a copy. Guess what? Overwatch fans, Overwatch didn't copy Paladins? What? You're telling me Paladins invented foxes? Well, I'm also telling that, Overwatch didn't invent a UI, but apparently this motherfucker clearly thinks so. So, yeah. Cross-platform gameplay. Paladins versus Overwatch. Overwatch was a name that was crying out for cross-play functionality, especially with this appeal game as when esports gamers were concerned. However, it would take until August 2022 before they would see this. The game now supports cross-play. All gamers, whether they play Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch. Paladins wins a point here. He's like, I've been talking shit for this entire time, so let me just say one good thing for Paladins so it doesn't look biased. Paladins was a point in here, was quick to move to this trend, offering cross-platform functionality from September 2019 onwards. The game supports matchmaking with Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Steam, where's Epic, and Nintendo Switch. And I'm not going to be the asshole, so I'm going to say Nintendo Switch is no longer a part of it, so you can scratch that off the list. Paladins does not exist on Nintendo Switch. I think Overwatch actually still exists there. And I haven't tried it. I might actually give it a try there. Facts about Overwatch and Paladins. Which game is better, Paladins or Overwatch? Paladins, while a great FTP title, is an Overwatch clone. With some small tweaks here and there. Over time, the Paladins series has worked hard to establish its own unique personality, but it's their Overwatch clone. Plus, it offers more individually gameplay and deals. However, overall, Overwatch is better than Paladins in just about every way. Bullshit! Let's talk about the fact that I have a lot more ways to play with Paladins. I have a lot more champions to play in Paladins. The only thing that it truly lacks is polishing, unfortunately, releases of maps and modes. I guarantee if we had a big fucking team on the Paladins team, they would actually beat Overwatch. Alright, I have no questions in my mind about that. Right now, Paladins will die. It is dying. Like, it's losing fucking devs because I don't know who up there decided, you know what? Let's just fire another 10 devs today. So Paladins team is reduced down to what? Like five devs almost? Goddamn. So if it wasn't the company itself killing Paladins, I guarantee you the Paladins would be doing great. But yes, my lord, please continue telling me how much of Paladins is a Overwatch clone. Is Paladins a pay-to-win game? Overwatch takes the balance of their game modes very seriously. Sure they do. That's why there's fucking emotes where you can almost blend in with a fucking map. As they should consider, they are a respectful esports title. However, thanks to the card-based system employed in Paladins and the ability to buy cards through microtransactions... What? This motherfucker went to grab a line from Obi64? You can't buy cards through microtransactions, moron. It's clear the players who invest will win more often than those who don't. Okay, let me rephrase this. So, both Overwatch and Paladins have pay-to-win features. So, for example, in Paladins, there are skins that actually provide a better advantage. Like, for example, Reaver Victor. The weapon is actually a lot easier to aim with than the normal sort of other weapons. But there's also other skins that are very pay to lose. Like, for example, look at the weapon of the Sugar Plum Weavy or whatever the fuck. It's super massive, covering the entire fucking screen. It's absolutely shit. Sometimes it's actually better to not even use a fucking skin on Paladins. In Overwatch, you got emotes that allow you to fucking hide in a map. Literally, you can sit in a fucking corner behind a bush or almost inside of the map. And this guy's talking about the fucking cards. The card systems are not pay to win. You can't buy the fucking cards. The season pass doesn't even exist anymore, so you have to buy all the talents straight away, so you don't have to level up to level 8 to get them. But yeah, please do carry on, sir. Oh god. Do Paladins have more Paladin players than Overwatch? I'm not even gonna answer that. Of course they do. Of course that Overwatch has a lot more players than Paladins. Like, what? This is a question? Another question just to make Paladins look worse? Let's fucking do it. Is Paladins even worth playing? Oh shit, I want to read this one. Hold up. That depends. If you don't want to invest in hero shooters until you know more about them, then Paladins is a great option as it's free to play. Oh, so I guess you don't have to play Overwatch either, because it's also free to play. This guy's consistency is zero. Jack shit. However, if you want the best experience out there regarding hero shooters, you'll want to choose Overwatch or Valorant. Then I'm sorry, but if you're going for that logic, I would say Valorant first, because apparently to you, Overwatch is still paid, and which it wasn't at the start of the year. Just saying. And in my honest opinion, me answering this question, is Paladins even worth playing? Because you can see the question itself is trying to fuck it up. The question should be, which one is worth playing? Is it Paladins or Overwatch? And I would say both. You should play both. Alright, because not everybody likes the fast-paced game of Overwatch or the insanely complicated different ways to play on Paladins. Both of them offer different ways. Paladins has mounts, Paladins has the item shop, loadouts, talents, 50 plus fucking champions. In Overwatch, you have a complete different thing. You can change champions on the flight. The game is a lot more polished. Maybe the lore there is even better than Paladins. I'm not going to argue on that one. You don't have mounts there, so you have to physically walk up to places, right? But they counter that with having different spawns on the map that will move depending on how far on the objective you are. So there's multiple different things in these games, and you should definitely check them out. Paladins might be better for low-end PCs. Overwatch might be better for high-end PCs. Maybe you're a bit more competitive and you want to go for something a bit more esporty, then go for Overwatch. Maybe you just want to relax a little bit more, go to fucking Paladins. There you go. There's many different things. This guy is shit at doing his job. I'm telling him right now. If he ever sees this video, I am sorry to be this frank and this direct with you, but you're shit at this. All right? This is AI generated 100%. I'm not even gonna question it. What other games should I play if I like Overwatch? Valorant, I guess. It's more, Valorant's very complicated compared to Overwatch. It's even worse than Overwatch because Overwatch is very fast paced, but Valorant is the type of the type of gameplay that you have to literally just walk like a ghost, not make a single sound, and have the best aim of the world. And guess what? The aim doesn't mean shit if you don't know how it works, the recoil works, and so on. Team Fortress. That is right. This is absolutely right. Apex Legends. I don't know how the fuck you think that that's the same thing as Overwatch, but remembering the fact that the characters that have abilities and ultimates, I guess you could say that it's just a Battle Royale Overwatch. Unreal and Tournament. I never played it. I don't know. Time Splitters. I don't know. I think I know this one, but I'm not 100% sure. Borderlands. What? Okay. If you say so. Whatever. Smite. Motherfucker. Listen to me, and you listen to me right now. If you're going to say bullshit and put me a goddamn fucking MOBA, if you like Overwatch, what games are you going to play? Then you should have put something else like a fucking League of Legends than a Smite. Because guess what? Both of the answers are fucking wrong. They're MOBAs! Paladins is way more MOBA style than Overwatch. If you like Paladins, which other games would you like? Should you try playing? Smite and League of Legends. They are MOBAs. You got a massive fucking item shop that changes your playstyle. That would be the correct question for this answer. Not Overwatch. This doesn't make any sense. Dota, same fucking thing. What is wrong with you? Holy shit. Overall, if you're a gamer looking for something that simply allows you to play an arcade-style FPS game without any investment, Paladins is a great option. It has decent gameplay, a fun card system that is unlike the one seen in Back 4 Blood. The fuck? Why are you comparing Back for Blood for this shit? And it also boasts a cavalcade of interest characters. However, if you want a more refined, more competitive and balanced hero... Balance! Fucking balance. You need to go to Overwatch. It's superior in just every department. Do you disagree? Let us know in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you for reading. Nice AI generated text. Not biased at all on Overwatch, by the way. Also super outdated info all the fucking time. Congrats. There you go. There's your answer. If you guys look into these questions, look at it. The first question is pretty legit. Which game is better, Paladins or Overwatch? That's absolutely fine. But then he moves on to, is Paladins pay to win game? As if this was a fucking question. You should have put, is Paladins and do Paladins and Overwatch have pay to win features? That's the right question you should have done for a proper fucking post that you're doing. Do Paladins have more players than Overwatch? This question is literally just to make Paladins look worse than you already did for the entire fucking post. Is Paladins even worth playing? Again, what other games should you play if you like Overwatch? So, you see my point here, right? It's because of people like this. This guy either did it AI-generated bullshit, or I don't know what he did. But it's because of people like this that the Paladins get such a bad fame. Listen, folks. I'm not trying to defend Paladins. If anything, I wouldn't be seeing myself playing Paladins in a couple years, depending on how shit are going because of decisions up top. But if I had to suggest anything, I would say try both. Try both games, okay? They're both free to play. You don't get a fucking virus for installing them. Maybe your computer works better with Paladins. Maybe your computer works better with Overwatch. Maybe you just like the playstyle of one of specifically of them, and that's it. Just that's up to you. Read this shit if you want to have a brain, like a stroke or some shit, a brain aneurysm. Go for it. Don't believe anything this guy's saying because this is fucking bullshit. This post is from the 2010s era, for what I can see. Okay, half of the information here is wrong. The guy literally tried to fucking gaslight Paladins the entire time from start to end, from literally on purpose. Like, it's plain obvious. And he even goes out of his way of like, oh yeah, Paladins gains some point here, as if like he knows that he's shit-talking Paladins from start to end. This guy is biased on Overwatch, 100%. And you might say, well, we could say the same thing about you. You're biased on Paladins. No, I'm not. Just because I do content on Paladins, because it's the game that I'm heavily invested in by working with the company, does not mean that I'm not allowed to like other games and play them. I play Overwatch. I like Overwatch. I like a shit ton of things from Overwatch better than I like from Paladins. But there's things that I also like in Paladins that I like more than Overwatch. And for me, it's a lot less boring to me to play Paladins the entire day than Overwatch. I'm sorry, that's just my personal opinion. And the same thing will happen to you. You will have a bigger preference by one than the other, which is completely normal. In fact, if you are tired of Paladins and Overwatch, you shouldn't even be going into the same genre. You shouldn't go into Team Fortress. You should play something completely different. This is a multiplayer FPS hero shooter. What you should be doing is going to something different, either a battle royale or a story game mode. Maybe an extraction game mode. Do something like that. All right? If you don't want to be burned out from this playstyle, which Paladins and Overwatch right now are the biggest ones on the market for FPS hero shooter, sorry. These are the two main ones on the game. You have Team Fortress 2, but unfortunately that one's a bit dead. Everybody knows it. It still has its strong community, but it's not the same thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, try both games. If you ever come across this shit, don't bother. All right? These are guys just literally, I wouldn't be surprised this fucker got paid by Blizzard to just do this as much as possible on Overwatch side. All right? So, I'm sorry if this is a very long video, but I really had to do it because I know that this is AI generated 100%. If not, then the guy is literally an ass. And Here's another thing. Like this, there's 100, 1,000 more posts of these coming out every fucking year. And half of this is not accurate. All right? If you really want to have opinions of the games, try them out for yourselves. Check out streamers who are playing the games, but not comparing them, because that's when it starts to fail. All right? So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, have a wonderful time. Don't question yourself which one is better, if it's Overwatch or Paladins. Just enjoy the games. You're a player. You're there to enjoy the games, and that's it. All right? So, bye-bye. I'll see you guys next time.